Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Wan Muhammad Najmi bin Wan Anwar. So I'm going to introduce to you about our innovations in PNP classes, which we call it as a Forensalt Chem Kit. So this project is a contribution between two teachers, which is teacher Zurina and also me myself, Wan Muhammad Najmi bin Wan Anwar. So in forensic chemistry, we need to learn the applications regarding the anion and cation testing in order for us to analyze the chemical evidence. Alright, so by implying the qualitative test, alright, so this kits actually helping the students to apply the theoretical knowledge and emphasizing the anion test and cation test that they need to learn in the KSSM syllabus in chapter 6, which is acid, base and salt in form 4, right? So that's why when they have this hands-on approach, so they might see and understand more regarding the anion and cation test in forensic and also in the learning. Alright, so this is basically the introductions of our kids, okay, where we need to discover the ions, right, that presence in the forensic cases that we have been imposed in our kit. So there are three main objectives that we want to achieve in this innovations of our kits, which is identifying the presence of specific anion and cation in unknown substance, which using the qualitative chemical test, and also we want the students to understand the reactions and result of anion and cation test, and lastly we want to apply some forensic investigation technique in analyzing the chemical evidence. Alright, so the problems that we encountered in our students nowadays is because the things that this anion and cation test they have hard to understand and also to memorize the chemical testing itself in answering the questions in SPM. So by integrating, alright, the forensic chemistry, which we know that was something fun and it triggered the critical thinking of our students, right? So we want to make them, right, to think and to solve cases regarding the anion and cation test that we want to impose, and we want to make them and have a better understanding, right, regarding the syllabus that have been published by the KSSM syllabus. So that's why we invent these kits so that it's make the students have a better understanding and easier to understand by using the physical approach in solving the cases by this kit. So here are some of the methodology that we use in our kits, right? So we can see. So we're starting with crime cases, all right, that have been published in a newspaper, right? So this might give a basic situation what happened in the cases that have been proposed towards the student itself. And then we give the chronology of the cases, whereby they need to have a better understanding on how to solve the case that being told in the newspaper just now. So based on the chronology earlier, right, we know that there's something powder, a white powder in the jacket of the victim, right? So what they need to do is they need to analyze the white powder and tell us what anion and cations that are present in the white powder. So this is basically the questions, the assignments that have been given to the students in order to solve the cases. Right, so basically this is the summarizations of how we conduct our PNP classes, right, where we conduct the experiment first, all right, and then we show them a video on how we do the experiment, and then we give the students the materials and apparatus that they might need to do the experiments to solve the unknown sample, which we label as L2, right? So what they need to do is they need to test all the sample with the materials and the apparatus they have been given, and then they need to identify what cation and anions that is present, right, in the white powder, and then after that they can identify who kills the victim. So this is basically the three suspects that have been proposed for our kids, right? Which we have suspect one, that the killer, the possible killer have magnesium chloride powdered on his shirts. Same goes to suspects 2, they have zinc chloride, and suspect 3 is we have iron 3 sulfate on their shirts. Okay, so this is the answer for our kids, which is the killer for the victim just in the cases is suspect 3, okay, which they contains iron 3 sulfate, which the cation is iron 3 and anion is sulfate ion, right? So how they see this is by the color changes when they react these two anion and cation, right, in a specific solutions that have been given by us. Alright, so this is how we do the ending of our classes, which we give some conclusion so that they can have some basic revisions before we end the class. Alright, so how these kids impact the students? Okay, so based on the pre-test that have been given by us before we start our project, alright, so we can see that the result over here, alright, most of the students that we pick randomly score like the highest amount of 4, or even we have like only one student that can score 9 over 10 out of 10 questions, right? So this show that they don't really understand on how to implement, all right, the cation and anion test in the questions based on the SPM question. But after we do the investigations and we do the activities, so we can see over here there's improvements in their marks, okay, when they taking the post test, which we use the same questions, but we change the arrangements of the questions, right? So we can see that most of them can score full mark, which is 10 over 10. Alright, and only one student can score 8 over 10, which for chemistry teachers, we are really satisfied with the result. So this is the moments that have been captured, right, during the activity, when the activity are ongoing in the classes. So you can see the picture here. So that's all from chemistry unit, MRSM Kuala Kelawang, which we invent a new things, a new kits for the students to have a better understanding in our subject. I hope that this small efforts might give a big impact towards the kids, and they can actually love chemistry and have a better understanding in chemistry. So that's all from us. Thank you.